Alright, it's been too long since I posted a YouTube video, so I'm back at it. What I'm going over today is a video that I did in the past, about 2 years ago, but I've come up with some updates as I've learned new things, and also now with AI, I've added an AI summary. So what it is, this video is I'm going over how you can set it up to automatically download your Zoom recordings and upload them to a Google Drive without having to do anything, plus include an AI summary, send you a Slack message, all that jazz. So let's go ahead and dive into it and see what's going on here. So if you look here, a quick summary of it is going to watch for whenever there's a new Zoom recording. And then it's first going to go down this branch. It's going to download the transcript. It's going to summarize it with AI, create a Google Doc with your summary and then the transcript, and then send you a Slack message. And then when the recording comes in, it's going to go down this branch and it's going to download the recording, upload to Google Drive, send you a Slack message, and then delete those recordings so that they don't take up your Zoom space. So with that being said, let's move on and actually build this out. First thing I'm going to do on my dashboard, I'm going to click on Create Scenario. We're going to start with a blank scenario here, and first thing we're going to do is we're going to search for Zoom. Now you want to choose the Zoom administration. I'll just give you more control over your scenarios and what you want to do. If we scroll down, we're going to go down to the recording section, cloud recording, or you can search, and then we're going to choose watch recordings. We do watch recording here. First thing we do is create a webhook, and then now we actually need to create a connection. So go ahead and name it whatever you want. We're going to click Create Connection. Next, you're going to click on Save. Now you're going to have this window dialog box is going to pop up and normally allow, but sometimes maybe some of this is off. So it says you can't install the app because required permissions. So what we can do is these are the permissions that need to be on. Easiest thing is just click on the edit on web portal. Now it's going to depend on what you are, owner, admin, or member. Most likely you're probably an admin on this, or you could be owner. I'm going to go to the admin and we're going to click on the pencil icon because that's where I am. And so what we need to find is we need to find the chat messages and the chat channels. Command F, chat, and we're going to find chat channels and chat messages. So we're going to turn this on, edit, and edit. Now I'm going to click on save, and I'm going to back here. I'm going to close this up. I'm going to go back to our scenario again and close and cancel. We'll start fresh again. You may already have the permissions set, but sometimes people have different permissions, and that's how you would edit it. We'll click on this again, create webhook. I'm going to just delete that, create a connection, that, and we're going to click on save. Now it's going to pop up, and it is set up correctly. Now, first off, if you're not signed into Zoom, it will have you sign in. So now you'll sign in first. Then you should be brought into this, and this shows everything is good to go because we have the allow button down here. Just click on allow. It's going to establish the connection between your Make account and Zoom. Now we have the connection established. Name the webhook. In this case, I'm going to do recording and transcript complete. Because we're going to select down here is recording completed and transcript completed. And I'll click on save. And now we have the connection created and the webhook. So I'm going to click on save. And now we have that. Now the next thing I'm going to add in is I always do this for all of my scenarios whenever I'm setting it up. This is my testing function. I click on the HTTP and I do download a file. It's the easiest one. It's the quickest right there. Click into here, the URL. Now this needs a URL, but we want it to fail. I just come up to the gear icon and I click execution ID, which is just a set of random numbers. So it's not a URL, so we know it will fail. I'll click on save, and then I'm going to click on save here. Now that that is set up, now we're actually going to go into Zoom, and I'm going to start a meeting. I'm going to start a new meeting. I'm going to start. Okay, now make sure the recording is on. I can turn the audio off, and now I'm talking, and now it's recording my voice. But you need to make sure it's cloud recording. Again, if you are on the free plan, then you won't be able to do cloud recording. You have to have a paid plan of Zoom to be able to do cloud recording. I can also go and turn my video on too to get the multiple recordings set up. Yeah, that's recording. You can also turn it on to auto record when you first start a meeting or anytime you hop into a meeting. That can be done from your Zoom settings. What I'm doing now is talking to get some activity in this Zoom meeting. So there's little tips for you. All right, now we're done with this. I'm going to end it and end meeting for all. And I can close this up. And now what's going to happen is now the recording is processing. And if I back out, we see it has not come over yet. You would see packet in queue. So want to make sure that's inactive, that it's not running. We're letting that happen. Now it's working in the background. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing the other setup. Because we're going to doing two different branches. One is going to be for an AI summary, and the other one is going to be for actually downloading the recording. I'm going to unlink that, I'm going to go to flow control, and we're going to set up a router. I'm going to connect a router here. And next I'm going to, first we want to download we're going to download the transcript. I'm going to go back to our Zoom administration, and we're still going to be doing recording because it's still a recording. This time we're going to do download a cloud recording. Even though it's transcript, it's still a cloud recording. I'm going to move it up here, and now it's connected. And so this is the first path that's going to go down. But for our testing, I also want it to go down this path so that we know that it fails. Okay. And now in here, this is where we'll go and set all this up. But before we do that, we need the information to come over. So I'm actually going to unlink this in a second. I'm going to save it. See if that recording is processed yet. Nope, it hasn't yet because it hasn't shown up here. So we'll come back here, and while it's still processing, we're going to add a filter in here because we want this one to be, we're going to say transcript. And we'll add the conditions in later. And then the next one is we're also going to, I'm just going to clone this, clone it out, and we're going to connect down here. Because this one is going to be the recording. Again, we'll put that in later. So save that, save this. Okay, so scenario was saved. Now I can back out and see, okay, good. Now there are two records waiting in queue. So one is the transcript and one is the recording. So now I'm going to come here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable this route and disable this route. So it's only going to go down this one because as of right now, if we look, we don't have any info because no info has been sent over. So we need to get that info so we can map the fields. So now that these are disabled because we haven't mapped them yet, and that won't work, this one is still going to run. So what I'm going to do, and make sure this is off, we're just going to run once. That's right, that can't happen. Okay, here's an easier way. Unlink that, unlink this, connect it directly here, and now let's run once. Use existing data, and there we see it failed, but that queue, the packet of information is still in queue, so we can still use it. If this was a success and this was a success, the whole scenario was a success, then that queue would be gone, and it's gone. You have to go and do another recording again. So I'm going to unlink this, connect it back here, and also it's the third route, so we're going to go here, then here, then here, and now we can start mapping our fields. Let's go down our transcript route. First, let's put the filter in. Here we're going to, the condition is if the event is equal to this recording. I wish that you can highlight this, but you can't. You can right click on one, you can copy that. So I can copy this, but anyway, just recording, type it in correctly, dot, I'll just paste that in, transcript completed. Okay, we'll save that. Now this one down here, we can come set it up later because we still need to find out exactly what the event is. We'll do that on the second one. We'll just save that. And now in here, we'll map the rest of the fields. So if we come into the download URL and we click this and we go into recording, and then we go into, first we go to recording files. There's nothing here. I'm not really sure what that one's for, but the recording files down here, this has, if you see a little bracket there, that means there's multiple packs of information here. Let me show you what I mean. So if we look at this information that came over, we go to payload, recording, we go to recording files, and now we come here. Actually, in this case, there's only one because it's just a transcript. So this says file type transcript, audio recording. So this one's okay. I'll show it down in this second branch when we get there. When we come back here, we're going to the download URL, expand out recording, recording file, we want recording files, and we come down to download URL. Put the download URL there. We also need the download token. That is on the top level. So download token here. And then the file name, I have to put the date in first. So you can do the date by, if you come up to the date and time operators, you can do now, but then it comes out in the weird ISO down to the seconds and Zulu time, and it's crazy. What we're gonna do is we're gonna format this. I come down to the format date. We're gonna delete these two, and then now, colon, this is, okay. So we have, the first part is the date, next is what's the format you want. The date is the now, and then next is the format. Format, month, day, full year. You can do time if you want. That would be the time. We'll just leave it at that. That would be the month, day, year, time. If you want them slashes, you can do slashes. I like doing dashes. That's me. And next we'll do space. We'll do a dash. And then what I want to do is the topic, the name of the meeting. I'll do another dash. I'll just say transcript. I'm going to click on save. Now this will download the recording. So let's go ahead and run this once. We're going to run it once. There, downloaded, that was correct, and it failed again. We still have that queue. We look up here, now this recording is just a bunch of random numbers, but that's just how Make reads it. I want to take the recording and I want to get an AI summary. I'm going to click on the add here, and you can either use your own AI, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Grok, Gemini, whatever one you want, or Make has one built in. I'm going to type in AI, and I'm going to do the Make AI toolkit. This is just going to be super simple for now. What I'm going to do is, so ask anything, you can put your own prompt in. I'm going to do summarize text. But if you want to have your own, say these are sales calls and you want to extract action items, positives, negatives, then you'd write your own prompt and put the recording in and have it analyze that based on your prompt. In this case, I'm just going to do a simple summary. I'm going to click into the Make AI toolkit. The model, choose whatever model you want, depend on your average recordings. I'm just going to do medium for now. Text is summarize. This is where we're going to select the recording here that was just downloaded. And we'll click on save. Now it's going to summarize it. Next, I'm going to add it to a Google Doc. So I'm going to type in doc. You can do any other document you want, send it somewhere else, maybe Slack. I'm going to say Google Docs. I'm going to create a document. We'll put that up here. And now the name, I'm just going to take the naming that I have it set up. So see how it says 10/6/2025, 2:49 p.m. And that's the recording, or the recording file name. So I'm going to do that. The content, what I'm going to do in this, I'm going to say summary, colon, and then I'm going to take the summary from the AI. Then I'm going to do another line down, and we're just going to say raw transcript. And then from here, we're going to take the actual recording that we downloaded, and that'll give the raw transcript. Choose where you want it to go. I'm just going to put it in the top level one. I'm going to select, make sure you select your right account, and I'm going to say testing folder. Okay, and we'll save that. So now you're going to have the AI summary on top of the Google Doc, and you're going to have the transcript, full transcript on the bottom. See how that looks. Run once, use existing data, there, summarize, and now we have a document. Expand this out. Let's go to the web view link, copy that, new tab. Let's go see how it looks. And here we go. We have the summary. There's my summary. And then here's my transcript. Now we have the Google Doc set that way. Let's go back to this. And we have branch one done. All right, let's take a brief pause here. First off, if you're liking this video and you're enjoying it, getting some value out of it, it'd be greatly appreciated if you smash that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, bell notifications, all that jazz, because one, tells the algorithm what you want to see. And also, if you're liking my videos, it's great because it tells me more of what to put out there. And the other thing, if you want to get this template for yourself, right now I have it free in my community. So the link will be down in the description. Might not be long. I might be changing to a paid soon, but you'll find I'm starting to build a library of different templates and different automations that you can go and get for yourself. So go ahead and check out in the description and join my community there and get this. And now let's jump back into the video. But this is just the basics for here. Let's go ahead and save this for now. Remember how we have the 2packs information, but now we need the new data for the recording. Just click back in here, right click on just this first module, and then run once. And now when you do that, that was a success. So now technically the whole scenario was a success. And that means we're down to one packet of Q. And so that's why whenever I test, I always add this in so it auto fails. And so now I can go and test multiple times before I make my thing published. Instead of going and recording multiple Zoom calls every time to run it, that just gets too much. Now we have this, and now we can go ahead and let's first enable this. Let's disable this one up here. We don't need to do this every single time and create a bunch of documents. Now we're going to set up this filter. And again, that's the event. I'm going to actually disable this. We got to run this one too. Use existing. Boom, there it failed. And now we have this new information, which is expand the payload out, recording. We go to recording files. Now I see there's 2 recording files here. One is the shared screen with gallery view, and the other one is the timeline, whatever timeline is. I'm not sure what that is in Zoom, but there's different types of recordings. Now, as you see, within the recording files, there's 2 groups of information. That's in the array. Now we come over here and the event, but the top level event is recording completed. We only want this to pass if the recording is completed. So recording doc completed, and save that. Let's go ahead and enable this. Another thing I like to add in, you can either add it here or you can add it earlier, depending. A lot of times, sometimes the Zoom meeting will start, you'll be there for a couple minutes, then no one shows up, then you'll end it. But you don't need to download every single one of those. I like to come in here, and in the beginning, I like to do recording files, and then come down to the duration's not there. All right, so I'm going to come here and I'm going to do duration. Because I was under a minute, it doesn't show up here, but in that case I wouldn't want it to download anyways. So recording duration, we're going to change this to numeric operator only if it's greater than or equal to 5 minutes. So then here I'll put in greater than 5 minutes, save. Now it's only going to pass when it's greater than 5 minutes, but in this case, to test this one, we need to turn this one off. I like doing sometimes just add another or rule. I'm going to say if A equals to A, then it'll pass. Either this or this. And for testing now, we'll set this up. But make sure you come back in here and turn it off when you're ready. I'll put a little emoji in. Here's a little tip. We'll say this warning emoji. Now I know what I'm doing here before I make this go live. Now we're coming down here, and now we're going to set up the download a cloud recording. But remember, if we open this up in recording files, there was multiple ones. So if I were to select download URL, this, you can put a number in here. And what that means, which packet do you want to download, number 1 or number 2? We need to configure that. So before this, I'm going to add in, right click, add a module. We're going to do a tool, and we're going to set multiple variables. Now the variable we're going to set multiple ones in here. There's probably other ways to do it, but this is one of the better ways I've come up with, and an improved method that I did a couple years ago in my previous recording, how I do this. Variable name, I'm going to do them numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we need to get the variable. So the way we're going to do this, since it comes in an array, we need to map it and get the fields. What we're going to do is we are going to, you can just follow along, copy and paste. We're going to do get, then we're going to do map. I won't fully explain this. I can explain this on another video. But I'm going to come down, expand the recording out. Now we need to go find the array. So this is the array because it has the information and it has little brackets here. So we'll get that, and we need to, in the map, what we're mapping out, next is the key. So if we look on the top here, we got the array. Now we have the key. So what's the key that we need? What we want is we want the download URL. So we're going to type in download _ URL. And that comes from, if you hover over this, you can see the raw, it says download URL. So that's the actual variable name this has. And then we're going to comma. Next is the key, it's not showing up, key value for filtering. So what that means is now we want to filter to only be from a certain download or certain recording type. So in that case, I'm going to come over to, where was it? Recording type down here. And we see the raw is recording type. So I'm going to select that recording type. So now here, and only if it is for which one? In this case, shared screen with gallery view. So only if the recording type is shared screen with gallery view, then it's going to grab that URL. We're going to close that up. That is for the map portion. But now, to make it easier, we're also going to only grab the first instance of it, which that's the get. So get number 1 and close that up. Don't worry about fully understanding this. I can do another video on this, and we will get more into the arrays later on. For now, you can just copy and paste, pause the video, and take this. Next, we're going to do a couple more of them. We're going to do number 2. I'm going to copy this whole thing. We're going to put it in here. But this time, we want the shared screen with speaker view. So I'm going to change out shared screen with speaker view. What we're doing now is there's different types of recordings that Zoom does, and it depends on which ones were active. If there was a shared screen, there's a gallery view with a bunch of people in it, it'll record up here. If there was a shared screen with just a speaker view, it'll also record. But if there was no gallery view, then it'll record this. Essentially, whatever recording there was, that's how Zoom breaks them up. You can also set in your Zoom settings which type of recordings you want to record when you're doing Zoom. But I set this up to show you all options for whatever one you have, and you might have them all turned on. So now we're going to go and just do all the other types of recordings. This is only if there was a shared screen, somebody shared screen, but nobody, oh, I forgot to put that in, get, comma, 1 map. Okay, or close. So this would be a shared screen. Everybody had their cameras off. And so that's why this would record this way. Next one, so we're going to copy this. Number 4 down the line is gallery view. There was no screen sharing on this call, and it was just a gallery view of the people. And this next one is, copy this. This one is going to be active speaker. There was only one person that had their camera on the whole time. And the last one, copy this. There is also an This one's going to be 6. This one, I believe, is audio only. And for the last one, I believe it's audio only. I don't always use that. I never really used that one. So we're going to move on to the next one. We go ahead and save that. And now we have that set up to set those variables. So if I unlink this, let's go ahead and run this once so you can see how that works. I'm going to run once, use existing data. Boom. Now I come over here. Now we see we have the download URL for that first one, but all the other ones are empty because they didn't download or record any of those. We'll come back here and we're going to connect this and we can map the fields in the Zoom recording. If they all recorded, the initial one I want is a shared screen with gallery view because that just gives all the information. Then shared screen with speaker view because that's only one person. Then just shared screen if nobody has cameras on. We have multiple download URLs. We're only going to grab one of them. I'm going to go if empty. We'll use this if empty, and what this does is if the value that you put in here, if it's empty, it will return whatever you put in here as the fallback, the failsafe. But if there's actually a value in here, then it will use that. You see A is equal to A. This is unknown, so if this comes in as blank, whatever it is, then it's going to use the value of B. That's how you see that. Same thing with quotes. This is a blank value, it's going to return B. The way that works is we're going to put in 1 here. So if 1 is empty, then we're going to go to the fallback route, which is what do we want it to put in there? Well, I want to go check for the next one. So we're going to do the same thing, if empty, and then we're going to go 2. If 2 is empty, if empty, we're going to do 3. We can get the if empty, it's under the general here, right under if empty. Then you got to delete both those out, come back to here, put in row number 4, if empty, sometimes it's easier to type it out, 5, if empty, and then 6. Close that, but now you got to close all of the brackets. One more. There we go. That's the way that works. Download token, there's only ever one download token, just in the top level. We can see that right here. And the file name, again, we can name it what we want. I'm going to put something here for now. This needs a file name, so I'm going to save that. I'm going to come back up to this one. I'm going to grab the same thing. I'm going to copy this, come back here, file name, I'm going to paste that in. But this time, I want to make sure it's set up the correct one. So I'm going to back this out, make sure it's the right one. Yep, recording topic. And then this, if you want to name it recording or whatever you want, that. And then now save, so that'll be the name of our cloud recording. Next, I want to upload it to a Google Drive. So we're going to add another module, Google Drive. We're going to upload a file, connect it here, put a file, make sure you're in the right account, enter folder manually, I like to select from list, My Drive, choose the folder. We're going to go, testing, perfect. Okay, so in this case, this doesn't work for Zoom for some reason, so we're going to do map, and we're actually going to take, so in here, I'm going to take the file name that we just did under download recording, the file name, and then the data, the recording, actually I forgot, in here what we have to do, see it says file name including the extension, so we need the extension. In this case, for a video, it's going to be .mp4. And then the data will just be the recording, which will be this data here that I downloaded. So that's MP4. Now, if you just have, say, the audio and just going to be MP3, then you can go ahead and put in another router in here, connect it here, and maybe one branch, you would do the filter of, we'll go recording, and you would say recording type, recording files, recording type, and in this case, you would have to, again, you have to go and set the more variables in here to get the recording types for each one, and then you would do this, I believe would come as, we'd have to look again, I think it'd be MP3. So then only if it's, say, equal to MP3, then it'll go down there. And then you do another branch, duplicate this out, and you do only if it's MP4. So that's the way you can do it. Otherwise, I believe the audio only will still upload, but it'll be in the video format. So that's how that works. I'm not going to do that for this video, so we're going to keep this simple here. Most time people are going to do the videos and not necessarily the audio, but that's also a possibility. Again, we got this red dot here. Let's see what that is. Maybe I didn't click on save. Okay, so save. There we go. Now that went away. After that, what I like doing is sending a Slack message. So I'm going to do a Slack message. We're going to create a message. Let's put one here because you probably want to send a Slack message with the summary and description. So now we're going to select from list, make sure you're in the right Slack account, public channel or private channel, wherever you want, or direct message, select what you want. I'm going to do automation testing. And then here, again, you can do what you want. Say, probably do something new Zoom transcript and summary. Script and summary. And then down here, we'll say summary, and we'll do the same thing. We'll come up, we'll grab the summary. Now the transcript, you might not want to put the entire thing in here because if it's a super long transcript, it'll be too big for Zoom or for Slack. So that's where you probably want to do the summary. But what you can also do is you can do, say, link, and then we come up here and we can grab the web view link of the Google Doc, and that's how you can get the transcript. So it's something simple like that, and then we'll click on save. So now it's going to send that over there. We want to do the same thing down here for the recording. We're going to duplicate this out, clone, bring this over here. In this case, it won't be the summary. We'll just do the web view link for the Google Drive. Close this up, and I'll just do, say, link, again, new Zoom recording. If I can type today, and there, whatever message you want to say. And now we have that. But now after this, now we want to go and delete the recording, because that's the whole thing about this, is using the Google Drive, which is going to be cost cheaper for your storage than using Zoom storage. So now here, we need to delete the recording. If we come up to Zoom administration and we choose delete a meeting, delete a cloud recording. So we're going to select that and we'll bring this over here. We open up cloud recording to delete the user ID. You're going to have to select a user, pick yourself or whoever's an admin on the account. That way you can download or you can delete the recordings. So I select mine. For the meeting ID, we're going to come down here to expand the recording out. But this time, this is just the meeting ID, not the specific recording ID. So we'll choose this meeting/webinar ID, and that's the ID right there. Now the recording ID, again, this is under the recording files. So if we just take this and we go to recording file ID, now it's not going to, that's only going to take that first instance because this is where you can put a number in 1 or 2. What we're going to do here is we want to delete all the recordings. So I'm going to save this. An easy way to do that is we're going to add another module in right before this one. So I'm going to right click, we're going to add a module, and this one we're going to do flow control and we're going to do repeater. So the repeater, we want it to repeat this branch multiple times to delete all of those recordings. So initial value will start at 1, that's correct, because the output of this is going to be in numbers. 1, in this case it'll be 1, 2, and 3. This will run 3 times. But how many times we want it to run? We don't know how many recordings we have. If we put in a number, say 5, but only 2 recordings happen, well, this is going to fail because it's going to try to run multiple times and it won't actually work. So to get the actual number, if we click in here, we come back down to our Zoom on the bottom here, we go recording, and then we come down here and we can find the recording count. How many recordings were there? 2. So now this will repeat just 2 times. If this said 3, it'll repeat 3 times. So it depends on the actual meeting, how long that one went. So we save that. Once we have that in there, now we come back to the Zoom administration. And then here we put in the output of that flow control, which is this. So it'll run once and that'll be number 1, or run twice and that'll be number 2. And so now we'll delete the second recording. When you save that, now this is all set up. This is actually the last part you have to do. And you're pretty much done with this scenario. The last bit of cleanup is you'll go ahead and enable this route. You will unlink this or just delete this one. And then in here, remember we're going to, if you want to delete this out, but before I do that, I'm going to connect this back up. And what we're going to do is we're going to run this whole thing once just to see, make sure everything worked correctly. So as we see, first it's going to go down here. It's going to do the transcript and the Slack message. Then it's going to go down and do the recording. Then it's going to fail. I'm going to keep it to fail to make sure if something goes wrong, then I can go and fix it and then run it again. Let's go ahead and run once. Use existing. It's going to go down here. There. Now you see there's a 2 here and it deleted both the files. Now what we've done is we have set this up so that when a recording comes in, one, if it's greater than 5 minutes, and here let's go ahead and delete this out now. And let's delete that out. Save. Down here, this is good. This is good. Everything else is good. And all you have to do is unlink this or delete this. But let's move it out of the way. And what we can do is now we can auto align. And so now this is set up and ready to run. All you have to do is turn it on, and then now your scenario is live. Anytime a Zoom meeting happens, if there's a transcript, it's going to go down and it's going to download the transcript, summarize it, add it to a Google Doc, send you a Slack message. And then when there's a recording that comes in, it's going to go down here and it's going to set the variables. It's going to then download the recording, upload it to Google Drive, send you a Slack message with the link, and then it's going to repeat. This branch is going to repeat here to delete all the recordings from your Zoom account. That way now you're keeping your recordings in Google Drive, and you're not having to pay for Zoom storage, which tends to be a little more expensive. And that is how you can do that. Plus you can get your AI summary in there. That's how you set this up. Go ahead and set it up for yourself and enjoy.